Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Michael Myers Fanatic back with another video. I'm answering your questions from my Halloween Michael Myers Q&A. The first question comes from Jalen Ramsey. He says, "Why is Michael Myers? Why is he what?" I don't know what that question means. Why is Michael Myers what? I'm going to skip over that one. The next question comes from Alan Carpenter. He says, "Why do they call him the Shape?" I've heard a couple of answers. I don't really remember what they were. The one thing I do remember is, I think his name was Clive Barker. He said, "This is not a human being. This is a shape." So, you know, maybe because he's shaped like a human being. That's what my dad used to always say. So I really don't know. If there was a definitive answer, I don't remember what it was. Very interesting question, though. I'm going to go to the next question now. It comes from Resident of Collinwood. He says, "In John Carpenter's Halloween, Dr. Loomis shot Michael Myers 6 times. When he goes to look for the body, it isn't there. Yet Dr. Loomis is shocked by it. How do you think Dr. Loomis knew shooting Michael wouldn't kill him?" Um, Maybe he saw something, you know? Maybe he saw Michael Myers do something when he was visiting with him. Maybe he saw Michael Myers exhibit some kind of supernatural ability. Glowing eyes, or not glowing eyes, but maybe he saw the black eyes and that's how he knew he wasn't human. I don't know of anybody with pupils that black. And if I did see somebody with that, I would encourage them to check out a doctor because that's not normal. So that's the only thing I could think of. Maybe he saw Michael doing something that he knew was humanly not possible. Next question. It comes from Aaron Prieto. I guess that's how you pronounce it. He says, "Is there an actual legal document that says Michael Myers cannot be killed in any film?" I've never seen the document. I've only heard Mustafa Akkad talk about it. I've never seen the document, and I've heard Jamie Lee Curtis mention it in a 2010 documentary called Halloween: The Inside Story. So that's as far as it goes with that. Other than that, I've never seen a literal document stating that you couldn't kill Michael in any film. So I hope that answers your question. The next question comes from Josh Voorhees the 13th. He says, "Is Michael Myers in Halloween Kills going to be the most scariest and brutal and awesome?" I don't know. That all depends on your point of view. I can't answer that. I hope it's awesome. Next question. Well, the next set of questions come from Gorgira Fan 1954. That's my boy right there. What's up, Gorgira Fan? His first question says, "How do you think Michael escapes the basement in Halloween Kills?" I don't know. Maybe he actually walked up the stairs and walked out the front door. Maybe he put himself out. I think Laurie did have a big container of water down there. Yeah, he let himself burn for a little bit, but maybe he dumped that water all over him. Or maybe he found a water hose and turned it on and did it like that and just walked out the front door. Who said he had to specifically escape from the basement with a sinister plan? Maybe he just walked out the front door. It's possible. Your next question says, does that website you mentioned in the reaction video for Resurrection called The Home of Michael Myers still exist? Um, Probably not. I've looked for it and I can't find it. Halloween was a lot more organized back then. I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the little fan sites. They don't have stuff like that anymore. Now all they have is the official website halloweenmovies.com. So I don't think it exists anymore. Next, you go on to say, if and when Michael dies and Halloween ends, how do you think it will be done? I don't know. Maybe they'll chop his head off. For real this time. The next question says, would Julian McMahon play Michael for your cast for Retribution? I love Julian McMahon. Everyone knows this. I see that you've been watching my videos. Yes, it's still open to him if he wants it. But I would also like Will Sandin to play Michael Myers. That way it'll tie in to the original Halloween. Because he played Michael Myers as a little kid. So, yeah, but it's still open to Julian if he wants it. Your next question says, are you aware of the scrapped Halloween The Missing Years script? Yeah, I heard about it in 2006. So, yeah, I'm aware of that. Your next question says, how old would Michael be in Retribution? Well, if you're talking about the original Retribution, he was, I think 46. In mine, he would be 47. So that's not much of a difference. Then you say, what's the one thing you would have changed in H2O? I would have connected the timeline. Even though it's kind of connected because you see the scissors from part 5. Then you say, from a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off do you think Michael will be at Laurie for the rest of the trilogy? I don't know. I'm guessing a 10. Your final question says, what do you think of the 1978 Halloween DVD cover with the pumpkin? I've always loved that logo. I've always loved it. It's part of my profile pic on Facebook, so I've always loved that. My next set of questions come from a YouTuber by the name of Elite Gamer 233. He says, or she says, I don't really know your gender because it's not specified here, but anyway, they write here, do you think after Halloween ends they'll continue the anthology of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? No, I do not. Too many fans were against it, so that's too risky. They're not going to do that. And then your final question says, what do you think would have happened if we got the canceled script everybody wanted, Halloween Returns? Well, we would have watched it. That's what would have happened. I think a lot of people would have liked it. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I would have definitely watched it. You know, I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. It's a Halloween movie. You know how it goes. The next question comes from Mr. Injustice. How would you feel about a direct sequel to Halloween 4 featuring Danielle Harris as an adult Jamie Lloyd, making her as similar to Michael Myers, breaking out of Smith's Grove and going on a killing spree? No. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Danielle Harris. And I always have been. You guys have to remember, I was the Michael Myers fanatic before there was even a YouTube. Way before YouTube existed, I was the Michael Myers fanatic. I loved Danielle Harris, but she has had her time. And in my opinion, you know, either do Retribution or just continue with this thing with Blumhouse and let Andy Matichak have her time. And then when Andy Matichak is done with her time, somebody else can have their time. That's the way it works. Everybody deserves their time in the sun. And right now it's Andy's time. So go Andy Matichak. Resident of Collinwood has more questions that he wants to ask me, so I'm going to go and read those now. He says, do you think they'll explore Michael's childhood again? They might, although probably not, because a lot of fans don't like it when you do that. So they probably won't. Then you go on to say, do you think the Strobe family regrets adopting Laurie? No. They seemed very nice. Then your final question is, do you think the cops from the producer's cut of Halloween 6 were a part of the cult of Thorn? You never know. They definitely could have been. The next question comes from Everyday Horror. He said, what are your thoughts on where the YouTube Halloween community is now compared to when you first started? Oh my goodness, bro. Back then, everybody was giving everybody a shout out. But nowadays, YouTubers are focused on growing their own brand. Like, people don't really give shout outs anymore. At least not that I can see, not that I'm aware of. When I first got here over 10 years ago, everybody gave everybody a shout out. Back then, we really were a community. But nowadays, they simply don't do that anymore. Everybody is focused on their own brand nowadays. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. My final set of questions come from ALH Studios. Okay, he's got a lot of questions here. His first question is, who is your favorite character from the Halloween franchise other than Michael? Tommy Doyle. I thought I answered that already. Then you go on to say, would you have liked it if they went with Danielle Harris as the main killer and left out Michael in Halloween 5? No. Michael is the star. Then you ask, what do you think Michael was like before he killed his sister? Do you think he was a normal kid up until then? Most likely. I think, however, I do think that there were signs there. The parents probably ignored the signs, but I do think there were signs there. Your next question says, which Halloween films have you watched in the cinema/theater? Only Resurrection. Your next question says, of all of the canceled Halloween ideas that you've heard of, which one of them do you think is the most interesting? Retribution. Your next question says, if Michael were to appear in a Freddie vs. Jason sequel, how would you bring him in and what would the story be? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. That's an interesting question, though. Your next question says, do you think they'll ever bring up Thorn again in any future Halloween films? Probably not, because it was so controversial, but then again, you never know. Your next question says, how would you feel if Michael was killed for good, but then they brought him back in the next sequel and turned him into a zombie like they did Jason? I would not like that. A trailer on YouTube described it best. Jason versus Michael is the undead versus the unstoppable. Michael is not undead, he is unstoppable. So that's the way I look at that. I'm going to go on to your next question. Would you have liked to see Michael in space? Why not? You know, it sounds like it would be interesting. And at this point, they've done everything else, and there's nothing else you can do with the Halloween franchise, so why not? And then your next question says, what do you think Michael does for the rest of the year whilst he's waiting for Halloween? I don't know. Maybe he kills people on the down low. You know, that was always an interesting theory that I've had. Maybe he secretly kills people. Have you ever dressed up as Michael for Halloween? Yes, I have. 1999, 2000, and 2001. If you could keep one prop from any Halloween film, what would you pick? Probably the knife that Michael killed Jamie Lee Curtis with in Resurrection. And do you believe he is human or some sort of incarnation of evil? As far as evil in the new film, no, I think he's just human. Your next question says, if you could make a new film that picks up from any point in the original timeline, where would you choose? I would tie all of them together. I've said this a million times, you know that. Then you said, why do you think the government or the army has never tried to track down or kill Michael at any point in the franchise? Maybe they never considered him a serious enough threat. And then you say, if you had to recast Loomis and have his character appear in Halloween Kills, who would you choose to play him? Don't know. I honestly don't know. What is your opinion of Michael not being Laurie's brother in the new films? I think they just did that because John Carpenter didn't like it. And they did it to appeal to the people that haven't seen it, and they did it to appeal to the people that don't like it. Bottom line, they're trying to appeal to the majority because they feel like it'll get more views. Think of it as a living YouTube video. What do you want to do to get views? Appeal to the majority. That's what this is all about. Getting as many eyes on the film as they can get on the film. Your next question says, who is one character from the franchise that you would love to see return? I would love to see Tommy Doyle return in the 1 through 8 timeline. And I would love to see Paul Rudd play him. Your next question says, if you saw on the news that Michael Myers was on the loose in your town, what would you do? And how would you kill him if he was attacking you in your house? First of all, I don't know what I would do. I would try to find somebody that owned a gun, and I've already made a video about how to kill Michael Myers or how I would do it. So, thank you guys for submitting questions. I will be doing Jason Voorhees next. Stay tuned for that. I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I approve this message. Stay tuned for my Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees Q&A. Thank you very much.